performance.
Gwynn and Chris are ready to go.
And welcome to it, San Diego. Very happy to have you with us as we kick off another week here on Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Chrisello, Tony Gwynn Jr. down in hot Atlanta, and I believe that nickname fits today. It'll be a warm one tonight for the Padres as they start a 4-game series against the Braves. And we're going to get right to it. We don't have a lot of time today, just an hour before we go to Sam Levitt's pregame show. And Tony, after a laugher yesterday in Kansas City, I think everybody was feeling a lot better. But unfortunately, there's nothing funny about dropping 2 out of 3 to the Royals. The Padres really can't afford those kinds of missteps. And I think in a lot of ways, they kind of put themselves now in a situation where they're going to have to make up for it in Atlanta and Miami this week.
I mean, yes, ultimately, but they have to win today. And I think the thing that we'll just be kind of sitting back waiting on to see if they can kind of replicate, not necessarily 19 runs, but if they can replicate an offense in which they had in yesterday's ball game. What kind of pitching can they get today? I think that's going to always be the first question, most likely, moving forward. What kind of pitching did they get? But can the offense aid this pitching staff with the run support that they haven't done consistently all season? But they need to. Because you don't know how deep your starters can go, they need to try to supplement that. And that doesn't mean you got to put 19 up, but a couple early, kind of give your starters some breathing room a little bit, and maybe add a little bit as you go. But yesterday was encouraging from that standpoint. But we've seen them have a game like that. The question is, what can they do today? Because you start putting them together, then we have a conversation. Until then, this is just, hoping that they can.
Yeah, I think my wife asked how the Padres did yesterday. I said they won 19-2, and I said the only issue with that is it only counts as one win, unfortunately. Right. They set a season high for runs scored, and not just by a little. They set a season high by 9 runs. The previous high had been 10. So, yeah, they certainly blew that out of the water. I imagine when you guys got on the plane to go to Atlanta after the game yesterday, Ty France probably didn't want to go. He probably wanted to stay there in Kansas City. I don't know if people realize this. Ty France is now the all-time greatest hitter in the history of Kauffman Field.
If they were listening to the game, they definitely heard that from Mr.
They know that.
I have the stats right here.
Sure, I'm
Ty
sure.
France,
go ahead.
batting .458, 11 for 24, 3 doubles, 4 home runs. Oh wait, no, that's during. Sorry, that was.
It'd be great if you had the stat right there when we went to you.
We're starting right where we left off on Friday, everyone. In 42 career games against the Royals, France is a 1.110 OPS.
That's not even the right stat either. The right stat is
it says right here. It's from Kevin Acey's newsletter.
Yeah, but that's not the right stat. The right stat is that he has an all-time OPS of 1310 at Kauffman Field, which is the greatest in the history of the ballpark. He passed Yordan Alvarez in that category. So, all right, we finally got to the information.
we got to
wait. Actually,
are you going to interrupt us again with something wrong?
Butcher another stat, man.
Actually, I sandwiched that stat in the middle of those other 2 stats.
Yes, you gave the wrong 2 stats instead of giving the correct
one. His 1.380 OPS in 21 games
late.
is the highest
the
OPS by any player
passed.
to have at least 55 play appearances at Kauffman Stadium.
You know what's really funny about that, Tony, is if he hadn't have interrupted me, I could have just given the correct stat at the beginning.
It would have
been a very smooth
Why do I even
delivery.
fill out the sheet? That's why I fill out the sheet so I can go in.
Well, listen,
reference 3 separate stats.
The fact is, you filled up the sheet and still got the wrong answers.
I had the answers in front of me. I just chose the wrong one. I was too excited to show you guys what was in the sheet.
All right. Well, there will be a quiz after the show for anybody who can follow what we just talked about.
1.380.
But yes, suffice to say, Ty France hits great at Kauffman Stadium, and he did so yesterday. Grand slam, 2 home runs, and yes, everybody chipped in. Fernando homered, Merrill homered. I think Sun Moon Song got 3 hits in the 9th inning, or it seemed like it almost.
Great day. Great short day of work.
Right. He came in the 8th inning and ended up going 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs. So, it was that kind of a day for sure. But yeah, I mean, you're right, Tony. The questions still remain, unfortunately, about the starting pitching. Michael King was able to get through 5 on Friday night, and probably not, the kind of 5 he was hoping for, but he survived it. And, but yes, the next 2 games, neither pitcher makes it out of the 4th inning. Even Marquez with a 6-1 lead had to be taken out there in the 4th inning. And now I did read that Craig Stammen and the staff had already planned on only keeping Marquez 2 times through the batting order. So that was a bit preordained to get him out. But the fact that the bases ended up getting loaded there, not his fault necessarily.
No, it wasn't.
But the fact that they got loaded up was why they took him out. We can go back to those 2 plays. I still don't, maybe you got a better explanation, Tony. I mean, I heard what the umpire said, which wasn't much, but it sure looked like Rengifo had the ball in his glove on that first ground ball, and he had it in his glove for about 5 minutes before it got kicked out. But they said that was not control, I guess, and called that safe. And then the second play, I just think Bogey took a little too much time. The fact that the runner there was very, very fast, beating the play at second base. But anyway, hey, credit Matsui. I mean, it's not too often you win a game 19-2, and one of your relievers is the hero of the game. But he gets out of that 4th inning, and that kind of changed everything.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Padres have a really good bullpen, even without their even without their main guys. It's still a really good bullpen, and yeah, Matsui did a great job. I mean, in terms of the plays, I mean, just bad luck for Rengifo. He falls, his glove ends up landing right in the slide path. So
that then makes it available to be kicked out. I mean, he had it for a while.
No, I mean, while 5 minutes certainly is an exaggerative term.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was like 4 minutes 48 seconds.
He had it, but again, on a play in which is a force play, you got to complete the entire play. Okay. And if he had fallen forward, I mean, it's an out. Nobody think, but he kind of fell backwards and right into the slide. He kicks the ball out. And and you could see Jesse and I watched when you guys probably went to commercial. I mean, it's not often that players get like a real explanation on what actually happened, but like Manny, Bogey, who was that second at the time? Was it Crone? Was that second? No, it was Rengifo. They all were like kind of having a back and forth, and you could see the umpire explaining like, well, this is what happened. And I think Manny at one point signaled, like almost asking what's the difference is if I tag and it's the same. And so they got the explanation, whether they agreed with it or not, it really didn't matter. And then you're right. Bogey I think he just made a bad decision. I mean, you got to know the dude on first
he's quick,
can run. Yeah. Your play is probably at first. And so that inning ended up making it look a whole lot worse for Herman, who wasn't great, but he certainly
could have got out of that inning.
He could have got out of that inning.
Probably pitched the 5th inning, but anyway, look, Matsui did the job, and then the offense took over from there. I think the thing, unfortunately, that win yesterday is fresh. But I think the game that stands out probably the most from the weekend is the one Friday night. I mean, you have incredible heroics by the Padres. I mean, 2 outs, right? You're down, the game's over. Ty France homers to tie the game. Then you go to the bottom of the 9th. Mason Miller gives up his first extra base hit since Lourdes Gurriel's home run. That was like 3 seasons ago or so, it seems like. But bases loaded, nobody out. I mean, who else would you rather have? He just strikes everybody out. It was amazing.
I was nervous, but I also had confidence. Can we talk about the hit? Like, did he just throw his bat out there? Was that good hitting? What was that?
The double?
Of course it's good hitting.
Okay, it has to be good hitting to hit something that Miller throws.
Miller, and he threw a slider, and he hit it into the right center field gap.
Okay, I should have known that was going to offend a former Major League hitter. I should have known that was going to offend him.
What I mean wait a second. You offended me as well. And I'm not a pitcher. And I'm not a Major League hitter. Yeah.
Former Major League pitcher.
Yeah, you offended me too.
To me, it was like as a fan, I'm looking at that. I'm like, that's annoying. He just threw his bat out there.
Yeah,
he got a hold
ridiculous.
of it, and he hit the wall.
Yes, and maybe that's further proof why going 200. No, I'm just saying going 250 some odd batters without giving up an extra base hit. That's why it's incredible, because stuff like that can easily happen.
It can,
right?
Yes,
and Mason Miller didn't do that, but
you have to remember these guys are the only hits he's given up have been on that breaking ball. So
and it has to catch too much of the plate.
And he throws too hard for you to go up there like trying to do both. You got to and the teams that I've seen have some whatever you would term success off of Mason Miller have done it the same way. They pick one pitch and they hunt that pitch and they hope to God that it's somewhere in the strike zone.
If he throws three of the other pitch, you just go sit down.
But don't get it twisted. Like if you put the barrel on a pitch like that, it ain't luck. Like you earned that.
Yeah, that was a hell of a hit. It was. But
now the other three hits in that extra innings, the following,
the bottom of the 10th inning was
like
that was bad luck as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Okay,
70 miles per hour.
Yeah,
it broke a lot of people out there, including me. I'm sure it broke the players. I'm sure it broke Tony and Jesse in the booth. I'm sure it broke Don and Mudd as well.
I haven't been like, I don't get it. I don't get irritated about losses. That one like hurt mainly because it wasn't any of the things that normally happen when the Padres lose, right? They got some timely hitting. Then they got a bunch of it in the extra inning. They had some good pitching from that standpoint. And then the strength of the team ends up being the thing that bites them, which is the bullpen.
Yeah, but I mean, there were some soft hits. And if it makes anybody else in the Padre travel party feel any better, I was really pretty much given most of the blame by the people who listen to this show because I was the one that asked Kyle Hart about his dog, David Bowie.
Oh, and
so people thought it had to do something with that.
It was on his mind.
Of course, yes, I took the full blame. So
that's how sick we all are. Is that definitely crossed my mind in real time
really?
As it was happening.
I honestly didn't think about it.
Kyle was on our show today. That's not good.
He was on our show, and we talked about his dog who had passed away. And then, on top of it, Friday night happened.
Before we move on, what were your guys' thoughts on the decision to use Kyle Hart instead of, Matsui, who has experience closing? And let me say that, knowing that he had 3 very soft hit balls find holes.
Well, I'll just tell you my perspective. It was a terrible decision because it didn't work. But that's the only reason it was a terrible decision. There was absolutely no reason to expect anybody to give up 4 runs there. I will say that Matsui was who crossed my mind because he's been in that situation. But as was pointed out correctly, and Tony, I think you'll back this up, we don't have all of the analytics that go into those kinds of decisions. And I'm just saying,
never do. Right.
I don't know, what went into it all, but maybe Kyle Hart, the type of pitches he throws are analytically more difficult for the Royals to hit. Whatever it is, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it that we don't know. And again, frankly, they didn't hit him. They dropped 3 or 4 bleeders in. So, yeah, it was a terrible decision.
We got a bleeder.
Yeah, it was a terrible decision. It didn't work. But, I mean, I don't know what you thought, Tony. But that was the way it was explained to me, was that they used Hart because they felt his was the stuff that was best for that. I don't know.
I didn't think twice about it until afterwards.
Sure.
Jesse and I talked about it after the game was over. And I think ultimately the Padres are in that predicament because they don't have their whole set of guys.
They had everybody.
Right?
It wouldn't even have been a question.
It wouldn't have been a question. And so therefore it's 50-50. It could have gone either way, right? Whether it was Matsui. Of course, afterwards it didn't work out. Then it should have been Matsui. But,
sure. Yeah.
But I think in real time, I understand why people would have thought Matsui because he usually was the guy in that spot right there.
Yeah.
But you've also seen them the kind of you've seen Kyle kind of come on and pitch in some of those spots as well. So it didn't work out. There was a bunch of bleeders there, as you called them. I mean, the game winner rolled through the infield so slow.
It almost felt like whoever I think it was Fermin catching, he could have ran out there and got the ball before it got to the outfield. It was rolling so slow.
It was rolling so slow. The shift was the perfect shift because Bogarts is. I mean, I was looking at Bogarts the whole time.
Yeah,
and as soon as the ball is hit, he just kind of kneeled over, like I cannot believe.
He's like, I cannot get that ball.
Is rolling through the infield.
Yeah,
I mean, it had to be hit that slow for them to have a chance to even to score two guys right there.
Yeah.
If it's hit normal speed, they can't even send it.
Well, bottom line, the Royals get 2 out of 3, and Padres have to go back to work tonight in Atlanta, and we'll see what JP Sears can do with an Atlanta Brave team that has, obviously been great all year, but a team that the Padres swept just a month ago. So.
JP has gone what? One good one, one bad one good one, right?
I don't know. We're on the bad one.
Look, if he gets 5 innings, it's Mardi Gras. That's been the way it's been for this party.
It's
5 innings Mardi Gras.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got to take our first break. Obviously, the World Cup finale was yesterday. Tony, quick thought. Probably the most one-sided 1-0 game in the history of sports is the way I would look at it. They could have played from now until Christmas. Argentina wasn't going to score a goal. So
it was in boxing analogy. It was a Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight. He turned the juggernaut into just a boring team.
Yeah,
and that's how it was, man. It was sad to watch Argentina act the way it did.
And after the match, yes, Argentina did not do itself any favors.
I turned it off. I didn't want to see I didn't want to see what was going to happen after.
Their behavior was left a lot to be desired.
Really? I need to go look into this.
Yeah, they started like 3 or 4 fights on the field, basically.
I honestly put myself far away from everything that happened.
Well, that's what happened. So Spain wins that. We had the Open Championship. I don't even remember the guy who won, but I do know that Bryson DeChambeau stole the weekend.
We're
going to
have to talk about this before
theatrics. So we'll get to that, a quick Big Five, and then we'll get Sammy's pregame show. Gwynn and Chris is underway. Happy Monday, everybody.
Clear your schedule and tune in Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. for our Epic Padres Roundtable, sponsored by Epic Wings, voted San Diego's best wings 13 years running. To order, visit epicwings.com.
Wow, what is all this? These screens, the food.
All for the game, bro.
Let us pitch in.
No need. I'm saving $1,000 bundling my wireless and internet with T-Mobile. I've got it all covered.
Goal! Here to score big with T-Mobile. Families save up to $1,000 a year when they...
during the break. 23, Crisello. Tony Gwynn Jr. is in Atlanta. Padres are there, but they are down another starter. Not in the pitching rotation, but in the lineup. I would say one of the more consistent hitters this year. Certainly somebody they can. Well, they can't do without any of these guys. They need them all. Miguel Andujar goes on the 10-day injured list, and they're calling it a fractured wrist. That can't be good. He played all 3 games this weekend in Kansas City, even played the field yesterday after they made all of those changes late in the ball game. But he did go for 4 yesterday, had 3 hits on Friday night, 3 doubles as a matter of fact. But Andujar to the IL, fractured wrist. I don't think anybody mentioned anything about him being sore. Didn't hear anything about there being any discomfort. Heard nothing about nothing.
Nothing about nothing.
Other than the fact that fractured wrist sounds like more than 10 days.
It definitely sounds like it's more than 10 days.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, but fractured wrist sounds like more than 10 days. And look, the Padres, like I said, they can ill afford to lose anybody. You look at this lineup, I know they scored a ton of runs yesterday. Xander Bogaerts has been scuffling badly. 2 for 11 over the weekend. Gavin Sheets got a hit in the 9th inning yesterday off of a shortstop. That snapped an 0 for 27 streak for him. He hadn't had a hit in 8 games. I'm just saying they can't afford to lose anything right now. Campusano's not playing tonight. And by the way, with Andujar going on the injured list, they've called up Rodolfo Duran. Now, why Duran? My thinking is Campusano's hurting. He's got a sore abdomen, hurt it somewhere before the All-Star break. Remember, he sat out the game before the All-Star break.
Reading oblique flare-up.
Whatever it is, yes, he did play in 2 of the games this weekend. They took him out in the 7th inning yesterday, though, which led me to believe that, he's just not feeling 100%. I know that he was on first base yesterday after an RBI single. He dove back to first on a pickoff, and I wasn't sure he was going to get up. So Campusano's hurting. Now, they're not putting him on the injured list, which tells me they think Campusano, at least from the moment, is okay enough. Maybe they'll start using him as a DH, and that's why they bring up a third catcher. I don't know. I'm guessing on that. But Fermin is starting tonight, which, to me is normally an 0 for 4. Anything beyond that is a bonus. With Fermin, you like Fermin, fine. You can have him. I don't understand Fermin. He's the worst. He's the worst at calling on the ABS system I've ever seen. He is really bad. Pretty bad. I mean, that's not
the one yesterday.
That's not an opinion, right? That's just a straight out fact.
Well, I don't know the stats. It was not genuinely
right. I know you can tell me all the statistics you want on who's right, who's wrong. The problem with Fermin is he doesn't know when to challenge and when not to.
Oh, it was the one. Okay, so it was the one where
it was
Griffin
Saturday because he didn't play yesterday. He came in late in the game yesterday.
Griffin Canning had 2 strikes on the guy, 2 outs. It would have ended the inning, but he
the
called
ball was 6 feet above the zone.
It didn't even have a measurement. It was that high.
I don't even think anyone. The umpire was like, "Are you serious? Like that's the one you want to challenge?"
Those are the ones where they're like, yes.
Fermin is he's so bad at that, and like, honestly, we do the daily gamble. We're not going to do it today because there's such a short show, but you can start doing an over-under on what inning the Padres will be out of challenges. It's usually the 5th inning, 6th inning. They very rarely have one.
I don't want to laugh, but it's true.
Yeah, it only hurts when you laugh, so you might as well laugh. Anyway, Fermin's in there tonight. Song is going to play shortstop tonight. Bogaerts will DH. And they'll probably be, messing around with that for a while because Andujar's normally their DH, and he won't be here for, I don't know how long a fractured wrist is going to be. I'm sure Craig Stammen's addressing it, and Sam Levital, I'm sure, will have more for you on the pregame show. But this is not news this team needs at this point. I know it's a great win yesterday, et cetera, et cetera.
So that win yesterday, to me, is the entire season in a nutshell, or that series. You lead a game that you should, and then you lose a game that you should have won.
Yeah.
Then you get stomped in the second game, and then you beat the heck out of the team in the third game.
You know what's interesting too is they didn't really get stomped in the second game. They had first and third in the third inning, fourth inning, double play. They had bases loaded next inning, double play. They had first and third the next inning, double play. So, and I don't know how to tell a hitter, hey, don't hit into a double play, right? I don't know how you necessarily avoid that. I know you're going to say, well, get the ball in the air. Yeah, okay. You go in there in the batter's box, and I'll throw in there at 102, and you just make sure you hit a fly ball. Now, nobody's hitting into a double play on purpose, but this is what's going on. I think they hit into 4 by the time the game was over Saturday. So that took them out of any chance to win that game. But yeah,
I know there was something that bothered
19
you.
runs yesterday is a lot of fun, but it doesn't mean a hill of beans other than 1 W. They need 1 W tonight. I don't care how they get it.
Yeah.
They got to start getting them. They are 2.5 back, which doesn't sound like much in the wild card.
It's not.
But it is a lot when you're chasing 8 teams. Here's the thing. Let's break this down mathematically. There's 3 teams that are tied for the last wild card spot right now: Cardinals, Marlins, and Pirates. So you're 2.5 games, but you're behind all of them. So if you win, the only way you can pick up ground is all 3 have to lose. That's why it's difficult.
Yeah.
You could gain 2.5 games on the Marlins or the Cardinals or the Pirates. Can you gain it on all 3 of them? It's hard to do. Oh, and let's not forget, the Diamondbacks and the Nationals are in between you and them. So there's 2 more teams that you have to find a way to get past. It's still going to be tough. You got to start winning more than you lose. And again, I'm happy they won yesterday. It kind of dresses up a bad weekend is what it really does.
Yeah, it does.
And the bottom line is, look, you got J.P. Sears, who you have no confidence in pitching tonight. You have Walker Buehler, you have no confidence in pitching tomorrow. You'll have Michael King on Wednesday, who you have some confidence in. And you'll go right back to Griffin Canning for the 4th game, and you have no confidence in him. So I'm just saying that's how hard it is for me to believe, that they're going to ever get where they want to go. But we'll see, if they can hang in there and do something, the rest of this trip. I mean, look, they take 3 out of 4 over the Braves and 2 out of 3 in Miami. And you go, wow, that was impressive. Yes, it would be, but also still leave them at 6-4 for the road trip, which isn't gangbusters. It's good, but they kind of start needing gangbusters here pretty soon. There's only 70 games left.
They're going to need to put together a couple 8-9 game win streaks. That's just is 7 games, maybe.
At least a 6. Yeah, they're going to need 2 sixes.
They're going to need
there.
to, in 10 game spans, they're going to need to have at least a
couple of 8 and 2s.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Look, if you're going to say, well, maybe they can do what the Red Sox did. Maybe. Red Sox have won 13 in a row. Red Sox have Sonny Gray. Red Sox have, Crochet coming back. Red Sox have some guys that
Ranger
can pitch.
Suarez. I don't know if he's on the IL.
You know what I mean, though? Yeah, they have
definitely
guys who go out there and you count on and have been pitching badly and are hot all of a sudden.
SD Jonesy on the chat made me aware that Annie Halbrun is reporting Nick Pivetta is going to face live BP this week.
Yeah, and Musgrove's throwing off the mound. So, I mean, can you hang in there until those guys come back if they come back? Right? It's still at a minimum, Skraby, 17, 18, 21 days.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
So can you hang in there, until then?
I don't know, Chris. I don't know.
I don't think they can.
It's not
even a don't know for me, but I hope I'm wrong. And I have been many, many times, as we know. Speaking of wrong, the president picked Argentina to win yesterday. People are going to start paying him not to pick their team. He's been in a slump in that regard. But yeah, Spain, congrats. It doesn't matter who you're rooting for. As you watch that thing unfold, you kind of are happy Spain won because they deserved it. If they would have gone to penalty kicks and Argentina didn't have a shot the entire game, and then they win, what if Argentina wins the penalty kicks? Like, really?
Just
like that would have
insane.
been not fair in a sense.
It wouldn't have, and like the whole game, Argentina just relied on being a bully to try to get things done. They tried to intimidate, wasn't happening. Messi, you're supposedly the greatest player of all time. Where were you?
Well, but he can't go back in his own half of the field and get the ball and dribble it through 11 guys.
But just don't stand that you. A guy like Messi, the best player of all time, is someone who needs to try and take over a game on his own.
I can't totally compare it to football because in football you always get the ball at some point. But it's just like a great quarterback being kept on the bench. There was no way Messi could do anything as Spain completely systematically controlled the game. It was – Tony's pretty right. It was like a Mayweather fight, and Mayweather fights were largely boring. And that's what Spain did. They turned it into a really boring afternoon. All right, we'll take a break. We got a quick – I said we're going to do Big Five. Actually, Skraby told me we're not. So – here's one thing I want to talk about, a couple of potpourri of things. We've got to talk about DeChambeau and what is actually happening or not happening surrounding the penalty that he received on Friday. If you haven't heard this, you're going to just...
You could probably guess.
You might be able to guess, but half of you are going to say, oh, I should have known. And the other half of you are going to go, really?
We live in a weird time.
We do. So we'll explain what DeChambeau supposedly did or didn't do. And also, look, Fernando grounded out on Saturday in a 6-1 game. I noticed it right away. He didn't run hardly at all. I wasn't the only one. Don Orsillo called him out as well.
I noticed that.
So, I don't think I'm alone here. Don Orsillo says something to me.
It's noteworthy.
If he says, ground ball to short and Fernando doesn't run. So I brought it up. I put it on Twitter. And instead of people criticizing Fernando, I was the one who got criticized for putting it on there. So we'll discuss that. More Gwynn and Chris ahead.
Now that baseball.
So last night the bus was to leave for the airport at 8 p.m. And Tony, you know this. Everybody knows this. If you're hooked up with anything like this, as Pete Carroll used to say, on time means you're late.
Right.
So Amy's the young lady who handles all the travel and puts together the itinerary. So we're just about ready to leave.
TJ Lucida.
She stands up as the bus is kind of rumbling to life. And she goes, okay, everybody get your passports out. I want to make sure nobody leaves without their passport. Because, again, you are talking to college kids here, and you don't want
college
them
kids,
to,
That's who she thought she was talking to.
She thought she. So I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking to my head, like, you don't need a passport for this trip. I didn't even bring one. We're just going to the Bahamas. And so, yeah.
That was your thought process? The Bahamas are an international flight, I believe.
This is almost equal to the fact that North Dakota borders Canada.
I think it does equal that, Scrape.
Actually, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I would have forgot about it too, buddy.
Right. So for whatever reason, I did not bring my passport. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, my stomach, you have your sinking feeling. And I'm like, what? Never do that. Yeah, thank you. And I was like, oh no, I don't have my passport. Here's my second thought, guys. If I just quietly call Lori, because the flight wasn't until 10 o'clock. You got some extra time. So I said, if I call Lori and just have her bring my passport down to the airport, I'll be able to get away with this without everybody knowing that I blew it. Because that is a factor here. You don't want to be embarrassed. So she's in the back checking the players' passport situation out. And I'm having this argument with myself. Oh no, what do I do? And so my first thing is I'll call Lori and I'll just say, hey, can you, I blew it. I forgot my passport. Can you meet me down at the airport? And then I thought, we live 25 minutes from the airport. Lori is not going to be happy. Getting my passport and driving it down there.
Because the airport is really easy to access these days.
And never easy to access, exactly. So I had a quick discussion with myself, and it was either A, it's time for me to embarrass myself in front of the team, or I'm going to have to ask Lori to drive to the airport. I chose the first one. So I said, oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot my passport. I don't have it. And Stacey Terry Hudson looked at me and like, what? Like you? I mean, she wasn't mean about it. She was just like so surprised. And as I was, and everybody's like, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I live, literally 10 minutes from the school. And I said, I'm going to call Lori right now. Is there any way we can just hold up for 10 minutes?
What?
That's all. It was either that or make Lori drive down, Skrabe. You got to understand my options here. They're very limited.
I get it, but I think your mistake means that you have to
do the hard one.
Yeah, you have to deal with the hard part.
I agree. Well, this didn't turn out a whole lot better. Amy, it's her first year on the job, but she's a very nice gal, so I don't have any really, I don't have any cachet with her yet. And she's like looking at her watch, looking at Coach Stacey Terry. She's like, 10 minutes, because that can be a little...
That's stressful.
Well,
it's stressful. And she doesn't care. Her job is to get everybody on that damn plane.
Right. And a lot of times what we don't know, the traveling party doesn't know, is they've already like called ahead and talked. They have a travel agent that's going to kind of expedite the process a little bit. And if they mess up that contact, then everybody's messed up.
So everything is thrown asunder if you got to wait 10 minutes. And but I'm on the phone with Lori, and Lori's like, well, I'm not going to the airport. There's no way. She's like, you tell them that I'll be there in 10 minutes.
You tell them.
And I will give Lori a lot of credit. She, while this discussion was going on, found the passport and was already in the car.
Whoa.
So I give her a ton of credit. She didn't wait for... okay, go get the passport and hurry up.
Because she knew she wasn't going to the airport. So
she knew she wasn't going to the airport. Exactly, Tony.
She's like, I'm in the car.
She did. She said, I'm in the car. So I told, Amy, and I got Lori on the phone. I'm telling Amy and Coach, I'm like, she's on her way. And I said, I drive this all the time. It really is 10 minutes. And they're like, all right, 10 minutes. So last night, the bus was to leave for the airport at 8 p.m. And Tony, you know this, everybody knows this, if you're hooked up with anything like this, as Pete Carroll used to say, on time means you're late.
Right.
So Amy's the young lady who handles all the travel and puts together the itinerary. So we're just about ready to leave.
TJ.
Sorry, he got hit in the wrist yesterday at the end of the game, second to last at bat. It was a breaking ball. We didn't think much of it. He kind of shook it off and went to first. He said it didn't really hurt that much. Kind of normal hit by pitch, and then got a little stiffer as the game went on. Got X-rays after the game, and has a little fracture, in his wrist. So he'll be out for a little while. Be on the IL. And it doesn't sound like it's going to be too long. It sounds like something that it could possibly heal pretty fast. He could be back out there, but time will only tell on that.
Yeah, Craig Stammen, the ultimate in positive thinking there. But there's no such thing as a little fracture of your wrist that I know of. I'm sure there's, maybe a certain break that would be like a gap this wide as opposed to a little hairline fracture. But fractured wrist is fractured wrist. I appreciate Stammen thinking he can come back. I hope he can. But really, there's only 2 months left in the season. That's Miguel Andujar. And he's on the injured list, and that's the last thing the Padres need at this point. Welcome back to Gwynn and Chris, 2:41 the time. Sam Levitt with the pregame show, stats and stories leading into tonight's game against the Braves in about 20 minutes. Couple of quick things. Bryson DeChambeau, we're going to get to it shortly. Did he call the president of the United States, or did he just think about calling the president of the United States? Seems to be somewhat in question. We'll discuss that in a little bit. You recall DeChambeau was not happy with a ruling that did not go in his favor during the Open Championships.
I got so much to say about everything.
I think everybody's going to have something to say about that. But we'll get to it in a minute. I want to get to Fernando first. First of all, home run Saturday, home run yesterday, 7 home runs. He's hitting 280 something now. He's been hot for, a month and a half, 2 months, 25 stolen bases. And there's no question. Fernando Tatis Jr. is not the problem with the Padres. All right, let's just start there. They have a long list of issues. Fernando is not on that list. And even if I think he was, he'd be way at the bottom. Yeah. All right, so let's just be clear. I get that. Everyone should understand that. But you guys also know that, and I guess if this makes me old school, then I guess okay. But if a guy hits a ground ball, I don't care what the score is. I don't need you to bust Usain Bolt down the line. I get it. There's times when you got to sprint, and there's times when you give yourself a solid run down there. But absolutely jogging and barely running is not acceptable to me at any time in any place. Fernando did that in the game Saturday. He grounded one deep into the hole at short. Bobby Witt Jr. made a good pickup on it. And as soon as Bobby Witt Jr. gloved it, Fernando said, forget it. And I don't know that he ever even made it to first base. Don Orsillo called him out and said, Fernando doesn't run. Certainly caught my attention. No one asked Craig Stammen about it. No one asked Fernando about it that I'm aware of. No conversation was ever made about it by anybody anywhere. The Padres lost 6-1. The only run, courtesy of a Fernando home run. We've seen Manny many times dog it down the line as well. They're not the only two players in baseball. Juan Soto leads the league in this category, I believe. And it also cost him in a game here in San Diego where Song booted the ground ball. And by the time Soto started running, it was too late and he still got thrown out. Anyway, I posted it because it bothers me. I don't dislike Fernando. If any player didn't run down the line, it would bother me. There are certain different levels of frustration for every player, no matter the situation. And no, I don't think every player has to be Pete Rose. Because you know what? There really only was one Pete Rose. That's kind of why he stood out. He was Charlie Hustle. He sprinted on a walk. Okay, not everybody has to do that. I get it. But it still bothered me. And here's why it even bothered me a little more. The Padres lost a game Saturday to Kansas City, a crappy team that they just can't afford to be losing to right now. And there are many people, Skraby, you'll back me up on this part of it, who text this show, tweet this show, email this show, and say something along the lines of, man, this team just doesn't look like they care.
Oh, yeah.
Have we heard that 1,000 times?
All the time.
Yes, we have.
On a daily basis.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what do we say? That's ridiculous. Of course they care. Well, when Fernando jogs to first base, it doesn't back up my argument very well. It doesn't look like he cares. I'm not saying I'm sure he does, but the look is not really very good. Anyway, I was upset. I wrote this after the game on Twitter. What's your favorite Fernando moment from today's 6-1 Padre loss in Kansas City? 1, he had 2 walks and a steal. 2, he smashed his 6th home run. 3, he grounded out on a nice backhand pickup at short and didn't really bother running to first base. And then at the bottom, I said, I know what I'll remember.
Leading the witness.
Yeah, right. I'm leading the witness. Anyway, this created a bit of a hailstorm of reactions. I thought it might. I didn't think everyone would agree with me. They didn't. Romeo, I shouldn't say all the names. I'll just here's Romeo. He said, I'm sure running to first really would have mattered and scored the 6 runs we needed to win. I get that. I'm not sure Tatis deserves any criticism for that game when no one else produced. Seriously, Chris is another one. There's a few that are even a little more harsh than that. And a couple of them, of course, get personal. Come on, Chris, you should know better. You're really calling for a little league eyewash hustle in the big leagues. There was something about Pete Rose in here. Anyway, it's hard to find them all. There was a lot of them. But there was also a few that supported what I said. And I think Here's one. Chris, I agree with you. Tatis needed to run. I also agree with Don Orsillo, who called him out in real time. You're right, Chris. He doesn't get paid enough. Oh, you're right. He doesn't get paid enough to run to first base. I think that was actually a ripping of Fernando, not me.
It was.
For a change. There was one that I really liked, and I wish I could have gone through and edited all of this out. But there was one who said, really, you guys are out there criticizing Chris for bringing this up, as opposed to criticizing the player who's getting paid millions of dollars and isn't running to first. So I asked you about it, and you said, what?
Well, here, okay, so I understand why this bothers you. I don't think that it's something that shouldn't bother you. I think that Fernando not running to first in that game at that moment wasn't the biggest thing on my mind. It was like kind of, oh, well, he didn't run. And then I immediately thought Chris is going to bring this up on Monday because we talked about it on Friday. I think it might be a generational thing, Chris. I think my generation doesn't really see it as that big of a deal because it was, as that one tweeter said, it was one out in a 6-1 game that they never had a shot in. So why am I going to be bothered by it? Now, if this was something that it could have made a huge difference, it's a tie game or whatever, then obviously we're bringing that up. But I don't necessarily think you're wrong. I just don't care as much about it.
Yeah, you and most people. Here's one from Josh that I thought was good. It feels outrageous to slander Fernando when he's on pace for a 4-WAR season. He's been excellent.
Okay. That tweeter, get out of here, tweeter.
Let me finish. He said, critiquing players when they don't constantly sprint to first base is one of the dumbest things in sports media. All right, so it's dumb of us to criticize him. But here's the thing. I don't know Josh, and I don't know how to get a hold of him. But I guarantee you, Josh, if in a game that really mattered late in a ball game and there was a ground ball and your guy didn't run and he got thrown out, you'd be pissed. Mm-hmm. And what he's going to say is, well, it would have mattered. He would run. Yeah, but to me, that's not the point. The point is you play the game the right way all the time, no matter what the score is. That's me. Maybe that's just old school. To me, you always play the game right. Playing the game right means you at least run to first base. Again, I said you don't need Usain Bolt. As a matter of fact, Fernando had a topper in the first inning yesterday, and he did Usain Bolt, and he got beat by an eyelash. So he hustled because he knew he had a chance to get a hit. Play the game the right way. That's all I'm asking. Play the game right. And I think jogging on a ground ball deep into the hole like that, which can be thrown away, it can be bounced to first, something can happen. You run. Is it that tough? But I'm the bad guy because I'm bringing it up. That is what really kind of shocks me is that Chris, oh my God. Here's Brandon. Well, Brandon hates me, so I shouldn't even read this. Somehow you make yourself look like even more of a jackass every week. Really? Because I'm pointing out that he didn't run to first and I don't like it?
What I find hilarious about this all is that these people that are replying to you are saying this elsewhere. So I have these people that are mad at you for saying that, I guarantee you at some point this year, they've made fun of a player for not running or gotten mad at a player for not running. They're just all over the place. I think, again, it's a generational thing, Chris. I think people of your generation see that as playing the game the right way. I think that people of my generation don't really care because they were going to lose 6-1 no matter what, and it wouldn't have made a difference. Yeah. Even if Fernando got on base, Chris, 0.1% they do anything with him on base.
Yeah.
But I do understand why you're upset about it. It's not – I don't think that you're wrong for bringing it up.
This one just came in. It's refreshing to have somebody on the flagship station not be a total shill for the team and call out the players. Thank you, Chris. There's a lot of ways you want to look at it. I'm not going to change my opinion. Maybe some of you will or won't change yours. I do understand this is 2026. This is not 1976. I get it. It's a different time. But to me, there's only a couple of things you can control out there on the field. As a matter of fact, once you hit a baseball, you're out of control. Mm-hmm. The ball goes where it goes. One thing you can always control is hustling a little bit and playing the game the right way. I like to root for guys to play the game the right way. I just do. And I don't like guys who don't. So I love Fernando's home runs, his steals, his amazing skill, his athleticism. It's more than I could ever do in my wildest dreams. But I also know that if I did make $30-something million, I'd feel like it's kind of a bad look that I didn't really hustle on every play. I do. I think I would feel that. I don't think I'd be so big that I just don't need to because we're down 6-1. I don't think that's right. I'm only asking to run 4 times a game, maybe 5.
I don't know.
I know. Well, you're good. You're with I'll lop you in with the rest. but I guarantee you, man, when this costs them, if it ever costs them, just like the ABS thing. Hey, Fermin blows it in the 4th inning every day.
I'm with you.
I know, but the game hasn't happened yet. We're in the 9th inning. They really need a challenge. And they don't have it.
Yeah.
But when it happens, you're going to be mad like I am.
I said this to you earlier, and K-Laws is saying it now. Twitter is not a great place, Chris. It is not a great place for reaction.
Yes, it's not. But to me, it can give you a little feel for the wide-ranging emotions that are out there about a certain thing.
See, there's a guy in the chat, Blue Meanie, who I don't mean to call him out, but I believe he's around the same age as you, or around, in that area. Okay. And he keeps saying over and over, it's not over till it's over. What game were we watching though? Because that game was over. They barely played out the string.
I'll be honest with you. I think when he hit the ground ball there, it was in the 7th inning. They had 3 more at bats. They were ahead by 3 runs in the bottom of the 10th Friday night. They didn't win that game. I don't know that you just give up outs. I just think it's a bad look for all the people that say the team doesn't care. Yeah, they're going to show you that clip right there. And you can argue against it, but it's pretty hard to argue against it. We got one more segment, kind of a bonus. That'll give us time to find out whether Bryson DeChambeau and the president were arguing against the people from the British Open. Stick around for that craziness.
both your mouth. No excuse. Find a new place to hang this noose. String me up from atop these roofs.
Skraby, we have youngsters in the car.
This is Lincoln Park, man.
You're bleeping out the whole song.
Hey, it was in our system, so I'm using it.
All right, 3 o'clock. We have a few extra minutes before we go to Sam Levitt's pregame show. I guess the conversation rages on in the chat about whether, I'm a dorky old guy for suggesting that Fernando run or Fernando's a lazy bum. So, it's probably somewhere in between those two things. Couple of quick notes. Dodgers traded for reliever Seth Halverson. I only bring it up because he's got a whip of over 2 and an ERA of like 6 with the Rockies. But now he goes to the Dodgers, and he'll be just lights out. No one will touch this guy.
It's going to be very annoying.
It never fails. Dodgers traded a couple minor leaguers for this guy. Secondly, Mets get Luis Robert Jr. back in their lineup tonight. Super Bowl or World Series, whatever it is. Here come the Mets. What a stupid pickup that was, Luis Robert Jr. He stunk before, and now the people in New York are like, hey, this guy stinks. Yeah, no kidding.
It's headline.
Right?
Bad player is bad.
Yeah, right.
We've talked about
and
this.
People here said, we should get Luis Robert. I'm like, what?
I don't understand where
why
those
do you want a guy that is he's not even good?
He had one great year.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
And like 6 terrible ones. I don't see it. But anyway, the Mets, the Mets are shocked. Oh, my God, this guy's been terrible. Well, good. He's back, and so they couldn't wait to rush him back into the lineup.
Yay.
All right. Bryson DeChambeau got a 2-stroke penalty. What was it, Friday? Second round?
Friday.
He thought he was 7 under par, 1 shot off the lead at the end of the second round. He came in, found out they had given him a 2-shot penalty, and he was only 5 under. And it had to do with him stepping on the grass behind where his ball sat. And even if you do that unintentionally,
inadvertently
is the word, then it's considered improving your lie. It's a 2-stroke penalty. Among others, I heard Scotty Scheffler say, hey, we got to do a better job of policing this stuff. He said it's a little unfair to Bryson. And I like what Scotty Scheffler said here. He said, look, man, every shot he hits is on TV, man. They're looking at it. Everybody's got 9 angles. He said, if somebody else does that in the middle of the second round, nobody even knows it happens. So that's a fair comment. Scheffler also said that he's played everything from golf to putting tournaments to tiddlywinks with Bryson DeChambeau. And he said the guy's a lot of things, but he's not a cheater. And I agree. I don't think DeChambeau did this on purpose, but he did do it. And so the letter of the law, he got the penalty. And he ended up not winning the tournament, and it was all over. But here's the story. Bryson DeChambeau, according to all of the reports of everybody who covered this thing, went into the tent or wherever it was after the round with the CEO of the Royal and Ancient Golf People, Mark Darbon.
Which is how pretentious, Royal and Ancient.
Yes, I know. During that discussion, it is understood that DeChambeau said if the matter was not resolved in his favor, in which meaning the penalty was rescinded, that he would place a phone call to President Donald J. Trump. There's no evidence this call ever happened.
Yeah.
Mark Darbon himself said he never received a call from the president. But it does bring up something that is fair to bring up. And that is now after the situation in the World Cup where the president called and they overturned the thing. Is this like going to be the new thing?
Are we really going
to be doing this now every time a ruling doesn't go in our favor?
You want me to go to your generation, Chris? For some reason, certain people have a hard time losing. They cannot accept it, and they have to go to this, I'm going to take I think what's more egregious is him threatening not to play the third round. Are we joking? That is ridiculous. That is disrespectful.
To what?
Say
to
that,
golf?
to golf, to everybody in the field, to all of the fans to say that you're not going to play because you had a ruling against you? That was the correct ruling.
I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Well, okay, so I agree with Scotty Scheffler, and I've said this for years. Okay. Golf should not be charging penalties based on video evidence.
TV replay.
It should be a part of the group. It should be a part of the players.
The reason Scheffler's correct, see, now you can do this in baseball and football. Why? Because every single play is scrutinized from 12 cameras.
Yes.
In golf, some golfers are scrutinized from 12 cameras, but others are not.
Some don't even have a camera on them.
So it's totally, that's what Scheffler's saying, and he's right.
And they've done this for years. I hate how, like Tiger Woods one time almost got a penalty because someone called in from their house.
Right.
I hate that.
I think there was a famous one was somebody moving a leaf. Craig Stadler, maybe way back, but somebody moved a leaf and they saw it on TV.
I know.
They got nailed for that.
I think it was Carl Pedersen.
I think it was Craig Stadler, but either way, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't have happened if it was another golfer. The bottom line is, though, yes, Skraby, I think you're right. Decisions in all walks of life go for you sometimes, and they go against you sometimes.
Yeah.
Live with it every now and again. It'll go against you. Suck it up. Do better the next time and move on.
Yeah.
We don't all get to call the president of the United States every time they close a lane on our favorite road. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know who else called the president of the United States after something bad happened to him? Tiger Woods, directly after his DUI. So this is the move.
He did. He called
this is the move. And this isn't even about Donald Trump. This is all about Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh, yes. No, if you want
being a sore loser.
Right.
I like Brandon. I think Bryson DeChambeau is a fun golfer to watch.
But he's ruining his fun.
He's ruining it.
I mean, just think of the arrogance it takes to stand there, look at somebody in the eye and go, if I don't get my way, I'm going to call President Trump.
It's crazy.
And the guy from the thing should have just said, call him. What do you want me to do? Call him.
Well, they even let him. They never do this. They let him go back to the scene of the crime and explain himself. But the video shows what the video shows, and they're bringing up stuff from Wyndham Clark at the U.S. Open. Wyndham Clark, the video that I saw, if you're going to say Bryson's a cheater, then Wyndham Clark's a cheater. I also think the whole thing about is he a cheater is that's not the conversation. No one thinks he's a cheater. People are going to say he's a cheater now. I never once thought that Bryson DeChambeau is a cheater.
I don't know if we have time to do this, Greg.
That was good to get out.
I'm glad you feel better, but we're supposed to give away 2 tickets to Zach Bryan at Snapdragon Stadium on August 1st. Tickets are on sale at Ticketmaster.com. First person, because Skraby's not going to have a lot of time. First person who calls in and tells me the full name of the winner of yesterday's British Open wins the tickets.
Okay.
833-288-0973. Honestly, I couldn't call in because I don't know the guy's name who won the Open.
We have another.
But somebody will know, so call in. You can get Zach Bryan tickets. We're doing it really quick, so be quick on the dial there.
Yes. Anything else we missed over the weekend? I don't think so.
No, we got most of it. Padres got to win, man. Starting tonight, they got, look, JP Sears, I joked about it earlier. He's not gone 5 innings yet. So, we need to get some length out of these guys. Yes. There's no way the bullpen can go 5-6 innings every single game.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I almost gave up over the weekend, Chris.
And it was nice.
I almost gave up.
I know. And it was nice to get 19 runs yesterday. Hopefully the Braves will decide to pitch a couple of shortstops today, and we'll have a chance to get 19 again. Hassan Kim's not playing. He's been out. Robert Suarez has been out, so we don't have to face our former guys. But we do have to face Bryce Elder, who's been a really good pitcher until lately.
Yeah.
He has an ERA of 11 in his last 4 starts. Why doesn't that make me hopeful?
It should, but you're right. It makes me think that he's going to pitch a gem tonight.
I hope not. We'll be back either way to talk about tomorrow at 2 o'clock. For Tony Gwynn Jr., who was with us earlier, Skraby, if you didn't like the show today, call Donald Trump and complain. More Gwynn and Chris tomorrow.